Hello, grade 7s. This is the homework, page 158 to 160, I think, and here's on Math Makes Sense. It's question number 1, and it's here on our screen. It says number 1, this circle graph shows the most popular activities in a First Nations school. There are 500 students in the school. All students voted. A, which activity did about 1/4 of the students choose? Well, when you look over here, you can see, well, stick games is 35%. Powwow drum classes, 40%. Traditional dance lessons, 25%. Well, we know 25%, okay, and it looks like it's about 1/4 of that pie, but we know from past 25% can also be written as 25 over 100 or as 0.25, okay, and we know if we can break this down to its simplified to its simplest fraction, it is exactly 1/4. So for A, traditional dance lessons in the green is about 1/4. Now B, which activity is the most popular, the least popular? Well, we'll just look over here. So we've got traditional dance games, 25%, and then we've got stick games over here, 35%. Powwow drum classes, well, it tells us their percentage, but we can also just see which has the biggest piece. The blue piece is the biggest. So look, that's powwow drum classes, and indeed it says it's 40% compared to 35 and 25. So powwow drum classes are the most popular, okay? And traditional dance lessons the least popular at 25%. Stick games at 35% is in the middle. So just write that down. So I don't think I need to write that down. We've done that. So now C, just erase this a little bit. So for C, it says find the number of students who chose each activity. Well, we know that there's 500 students in total because it says up here, we look right here, it says 500 students in the school. All the students voted. So there's 500. Well, if there's 500 and 25% of them did traditional dance lessons, okay? And I said another way to write 25% is as 0.25, okay? And then when you do the math, you'll find out that equals 125 students. Okay, I'm not going to multiply that out for you. You guys can do that for yourself. Okay, so that's the number who do the traditional dance. So I'll put a T for traditional. Now we want to figure out the powwow drum classes. Okay, again, there's 500 students. Now what's their percentage? 40. So 40% can also be written as 0.40. Okay, we multiply that out, we get 200. Okay, and then we have our stick games. Okay, and we can see 500 times, and do that as a decimal, 0.35 because it's 35%. Okay, and that equals 175. Okay, when we multiply that out. Now, we could also have done it this way. We could have done 500 times 35 over 100 is another way we could have done this. So all those. Okay, then we could simplify, divide by 100, divide by 100, and then we've got 5 times 35, okay, which equals 175. Okay, that's another way we could have done it. Okay. And that is our answer for C. Now for D, okay, how can you check your answers to part C? Well, a simple way to do it is to add them together, see if it adds up to the total. We've got 200 plus 175 plus 125. Okay, we see 175 and 125 add up to 300 plus 200 indeed equals 500. So I think that's the easiest way that you can check whether this one, our answers are correct. Okay. Okay, so we're on here. We got question number 2. It says this circle graph shows the ages of viewers on a TV show. Okay, 1 week approximately 250,000 viewers tuned in. So we got 250,000 viewers. Which two age groups together make up about 1/2 the viewers? Well, we just look over here. Okay, you can see my cursor at this circle graph, okay, and we can see, okay, 13 to 19 years old is a green, makes 45, and then you add it together with this little piece of red, 0 to 12 years old at 5%. You can just visually see they take half the circle, so that's kind of our answer. And then you look closer, you can see that 13 to 19 is 45%, and 0 to 12 is 5%. Okay, so together they're exactly 50%. So that's your answer for A. And then B, it says how many viewers were in each group. So we'll go to B, and the first one, B, I, 13 to 19. Okay, well, we know that there was 250,000 viewers, okay? And we know that there was 0.45 is another way to write 45%. So that's how we can figure out, because it's 45%, 13 to 19, okay? So multiply by 0.45, we get 0, 0, 0. Again, remember the decimals here, but we just kind of move it over and ignore it. We'll move it back later. So we got 5 times 0, 5 times 0, 0, 0, 0, and then we got 5 times 25 is 125. Okay, then we look here, we put a 0 here because we're not multiplying by 4, multiplying by 40. Again, we've got 0, 0, 0, and 0, and then 4 times 25 is 100. Yeah. Then we add that together. But now we've got our decimal here, we've got to move it over 2 places, and it shows our answer as 112,500 viewers. Okay, so that's how many viewers were, I guess I should write that, viewers. Okay, and that's how many in the 13 to 9. So we go to this next part, for 20 to 29. Well, we look at the chart and it says, well, it's this orange here, and it says it was 25%. So we've got 20 to 29, and it says it's 25%. Okay, well, so now we have to do the same thing. So we can go 250,000, our total number of viewers, multiplied by 0.25, because that's how we can, that's a decimal form of 25%. So we have 0, 0, 0, 0, and then we have 5 times 25. Okay, we already know what that is because it was the same as it was over here. And we go to 0 because we're multiplying by over. Right, so well, we know, okay, that 2 times 250,000 is going to be 500,000, so we go 0, 0, 0, 0, 2 times 25 is 50. So now we go 0, 0, 0, 0, 5, 2. But we got to move these decimals over. So we go 1, 2. So decimal there. So 62,000 500 viewers, okay, in the 20 to 29 group. So now we go to the number 3, 40 and over. So look, 40 and over is the pink, and it says 40 and over Okay, and it says it is 10%. Well, this one is easy. I don't even have to do the math on this one. I know, but I guess we will anyway. But we can see 250,000 viewers times 0.10. Okay, so we've got, that's just 0, so we go 0 because multiplied by 10, not by 1, and then we go 1. So we're going to go 25000, but we had 2 decimal places here, so we need to over 1 over 2. Okay, and we can see that the answer is 25,000 viewers. Okay, which makes sense because 10% of 250,000 just because the power of 10. Okay, that we can tell that is. Okay, so that's our answer to B3. So question number 3 says, this graph shows the world's gold production for a particular year. And this year the world's gold production was approximately 2,300 T for tons. About how much gold would have been produced in each country? It says A, Canada, B, South Africa. So we're going to look. So it says that there's 2,300, and I think that's metric tons. Okay, about how much gold would have been produced in each. So we go to A for Canada. So Canada is 7%. Okay, so we know it's going to be 7%, okay, of the 2,300. So we've got 2,300, okay, times 0.07, okay. So we got 7, 0, 1, 2, 7 times 2 is 14, 1,600. But now we had our 2 decimals over here, so we need to move them back. Okay, so 7%, okay, will be 161 tons for Canada. So now hold a sec. Sorry, I had a little pause there. So B, South Africa, it says, oh, it's 35% for South Africa. Okay, so, well, we have 2,300 times, using a decimal, 0.35. So we've got 0, 0, 5, carry the 1, 5. Okay, and we put the 0 because we're times it by 30, not by 3. We got 0, 0, 9, 6. And then we get together, we get 0, 0, 5, 0. Okay, but remember we've got this decimal over 2 places, so we've got to move back over. So South Africa produces 805 tons. Now one way, kind of an easy way for me to kind of check this, I was like, well, if Canada produces 7%, South Africa at 35%, well, I know that 7 goes into 35 5 times, so they should have 5 times the production. So if I do 161 times 5, 5 is 1, 5 times 6 is 0, carry the 3, 5 times 6 is 5. Okay, 805. So that tells me that we're on the right track. Okay, on to the next question. So number 4, the school library budget to buy new books is $5,000. I'm going to write that down, even though it's right there. $5,000. Thus, the librarian has this circle graph to show the type of books students borrowed in 1 year. How much? So we've got A, it says, how much money should be spent on each type of book? How do you know? Okay, well, we got $5,000 total. They want to know how much you spend on each type of book. Well, it's just kind of like what we've been doing. So we decide if the French should get 11%, history 21%, science 15%. Okay. Again, if we take the total amount in dollars, say 5,000, and multiply a decimal. Okay, so French, it would be, you'd multiply by 0.11, the decimal form of 11%. History, 0.21. Okay? Science, 0.15. All these type 5,000 would tell you what your dollar allotment would be. Now B, it says, explain how you can check your answers in part A. Well, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Let's just do one for starters and show you the first way. So say we've got our, we're going to do French. So we've got $5,000. We're going to multiply decimal 11, which is the decimal form of 11%. Okay. So we've got 0.0005. Okay. But we've got to move our decimals over 2 places, so we have to move it back over. So it looks like our answer for here would be French should get $550. Now, 10% of 5,000 is 500, so 11% should be a little bit more, so that's making sense, so we can check our answer. But the other thing we can do is take 550 divided by 11. 550 divided by 11 to go back, and then you'll see it should come out. Okay? Sorry, not by 11. Sorry, by decimal 11, because that's what we're multiplied by. So now we remember when we do this, if we move this over 2 decimal places, we can move this over 2 decimal places. Okay? So in effect, we're dividing 11 into 55,000. Okay? So that should come out to be 5,000. So okay. And if you do the math, you'll see that it does. Now, the other thing to do is, if we can tell you to how you can check your answers in part A, is if you completed all these for this. So we know it's $550 for French. And if you did it for history, for science, for biography, for fiction, for reference, and you added them all up, and they should add up to $5,000. That would be another way that you could do it. So number 5 is a little bit tougher to see. Hopefully you can make it out still. It says assessment focus. This circle graph shows the population of the 4 Western Canadian provinces in 2005. Hi, sorry, I had a little pause there. Someone came to the door. So number 5, assessment focus. This circle graph shows the population of the 4 Western Canadian provinces in 2005. The percent for Saskatchewan is not shown. A, what percent of the population lived in Saskatchewan? How do you know? Okay, so it doesn't tell us what it is for Saskatchewan, but it does tell us all the other provinces. So when you add up the sums of the other provinces, so we've got let's see, we've got Manitoba 12, Alberta 34, and BC 44. Well, when you add them together, they add up to be 90. So we know in the circle graph the total, because this is in percent, the total is going to be 100%. The other ones make up 90, so we know that 100 minus 90 equals 10. Okay, so that has to be Saskatchewan. So Saskatchewan is 10%. So moving on to B, it says list the provinces in order from least to greatest. I'm not going to write this down for you, I'll just tell you. Okay, so B, okay, so we know, looking at the graph, there's 2 ways to do it. For starters, you can look at just the pieces of the pie. You can see how Saskatchewan's the smallest, so it's the smallest, then Manitoba, the blue, okay, then Alberta, the green, and then BC, the purple, would be the greatest. It also lists the percentages, so you can use that. We now know Saskatchewan is 10, Manitoba 12, Alberta 34, and BC 44. So there's 2 different ways to do that. Okay? So on to C, it says, in 2005, the total population of the Western provinces was about 9,683,000 people. calculate the population of each province to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so let's write that down so we got that total. So it's 9,683,000 people. Okay, so then to do this, we're going to do, just like we did with the other questions in here, we're going to multiply by the percentage of each one to get the total. So the percentage for Saskatchewan, okay, is the easiest because it's 10%. Okay, so all we have to do is times this by 0.10. Okay, and we know, okay, to do that, all we would do is move the decimal over, and the answer would be 968,300. Okay, for Saskatchewan. Okay, so that's just some mental math. I know, okay, that when you 10% of something, as I can multiply by 0.1, I move the decimal, okay, one decimal place to the left, okay, and that makes sense, okay. If you multiply this by 10, you go back, okay, that's Saskatchewan. Okay, so now if we're going to do 9,683,000, okay, times, for Manitoba, it's going to be times 0.12. Okay, now I'm not going to multiply each one of these out, but I will put the answer down here. So we got 9,683,000 times 0.12. Okay. So the answer for this one is 1,161,960. Okay, so that's Manitoba. Okay, so and then I think the question said to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so to the nearest 1,000, this would be 1,162,000. Okay, so I'll change that 162. Okay, so now we'll go on here to Alberta. So again, 9,683,000. Multiply this by what? By, okay, 0.34. Okay. And for Alberta, 34 times 0.4 equals 3,292,000 when is rounded off to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so this is for, that's your answer for Alberta. Okay, I'm running out of room here. Okay, but for the last one, for BC, again, 9,683,000, and you're going to multiply it by 0.44, okay, and to the nearest 1,000 is going to be 4,261,000. Okay, that's your answer for BC. Okay. And then it says, I think is there another question here? Let's see. What else do you know from looking at the circle graph? Write as much as you can. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm just going to say it verbally. Okay, you know the population of the total population of Manitoba and Saskatchewan is less than the population of Alberta or BC. The total population of Alberta and Saskatchewan is equal to the population of British Columbia. Okay, you know, we already said that we know which one is the greatest to the least. Okay, and there's other ones that you can come up with. So that's it for question number 5. So for question 6, it says, Gaston collected data about the favorite season of his classmates. Got our circle graph up here, okay? Unlike the other ones, this one doesn't say the percentage on it like they said. But it says classmates' favorite season. Number of students in autumn, pick 7, winter 3, spring 5, summer 10. He recorded the results in a circle graph. How many students were surveyed? Well, A, how many were surveyed? Okay, simply that's 7 in autumn, 3 Dean and 10. So we can only add those up, it gets to be 25 students. Okay, and we go to B. Write the number of students who chose each season, okay, as a fraction of the total number of students, then as a percent. Okay, well we know as a fraction they're going to be out of 25. So we can see for autumn was 7 out of 25. Okay, and then we have winter 3 out of 25. Spring 5 out of 25. And summer 10 out of 25. Now it asks us to write the number of choices as a fraction of the total, then as a percent. Okay, well, to get a percent, we could divide 7 by 25, but because 25, we know we multiply by 4 to get 100, which is the bottom denominator for a percent, we know we multiply the top and the bottom by 4, okay, we'll get our answer. So this first one can be 28% because 25 times 4 is 100 and 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, so this one is going to be 3% is going to be 3 out of 25 is 12%. 5 out of 25 is going to be 25%. Okay, and sorry, 20%. My mistake. 20%, and then 10 out of 25 is going to be 40%. Because 10 times 4 is 40, 5 times 4 is 20, 3 times 4 is 12, 7 times 4 is 28. Now, to test this, you can add them up. 28 plus 12 is 40, plus 20 is 60, plus 40 is 100. So we've checked that that makes sense. So that's actually question C. Say how you're going to check. You add up all these percentages and see if they add up to 100. Okay, because every portion of the circle graph should be in your answer. So that was C. So D, sketch the graph, label each sector, its name, and percent. How did you do this? Okay, I'm just having a closer look here. Sorry, so for D it says sketch the graph, label each sector with its name and percent. Okay, so I'll just do a rough. We got here, and we got, this was like the blue, this was the, so that was like the blue, that was the orange, the green, okay, and then this was the pink. And it says label them, okay? Well, the blue is the biggest, so I know that the blue, okay, is the people who like summer. Because it's the biggest, and we know that looking in here, information, it's 40%, so that's 40%. Okay, and then we go over here, okay, to the orange, and the orange is the second biggest, so I look at the second biggest, I can tell the orange, okay, is autumn. I can tell the orange is autumn because it's the second biggest. And the next biggest is the pink, so what's the next biggest up here? That is spring. Okay, so I know that this is spring. Okay, and then last but not least, we can see that this is winter because it's the smallest. Okay, and I could put the percentages in here too. Okay, so this is, winter is 12%, autumn is 28%, summer is 40%, okay, and spring is 20%. Okay, so that's all you did there. You can just kind of looking at it, you can tell, okay, which ones are which. Okay. So for the final question, number 7, okay, I mean it's more the same. I don't think I really need to go through, but I'll write the answers down. Okay, so we've got the morning snack mix. There's, let's see, so the morning mix. Okay, we've got, let's see, there's peanuts, and raisins, almonds, and I'll just sunflower seeds. I'll abbreviate that. So it looks like if you were to do it, you multiply, okay, 150. So peanuts is 27%. So you'd multiply 150 times 0.27, gives you 40.5 grams. Okay, raisins, same thing. Their raisins are 17%. 150 times 0.17 is 25.5 grams. Almonds, okay, is the biggest percentage. It's 36%. So 150 times 0.36 equals 54 grams. And finally, we got sunflower seeds. Okay, they make up 20%. Okay, so they are 30 grams. Okay, so that would be your things for the morning mix. Now, if you were going to do the other mix, is the super snack mix. Super snack mix. Again, it's got some more ingredients. So it's got pineapple. I'll just do it right away. So it's got pineapple of the 150 is 20%. So we already know that will be 30 grams because we already melted that for the sunflower seeds. Pineapple, okay. Then we got papaya chunks. So papaya chunks is 27%. Well, again, math's already done for us. Well, I didn't really do the math, I guess, but anyway, so we know, okay, that the papaya is 27%, which is the same as the peanuts. So we know peanuts, so it's 40.5 grams. Okay, then we go down to raisins. So raisins in this one's is only 13%. So that works out to be 19.5 grams. Okay, then we got banana chips. That's a total of 23%, which makes for a total of 34.5 grams. Okay. We got cranberries. Well, this sounds good. It's got a lot of good stuff in there. Cranberries. Okay. We got, they are 17%, okay, which is the same as the raisins in the first one, so we know that it is 25.5 grams. Okay, and that's it. So you add those up, we got 30, about 70, so we got, say, 40.5 and 19.5, okay, is 60, plus 30 is 90, okay, plus 125 is 115 plus 35, okay, and again, so that adds up to 150. So that is your answer for A. Now let's see what B is. We don't have a lot of room here. About what mass of raisins would you expect to find in a 300-gram sample of each mix? What assumptions did you make? Okay, so raisins, here we've got 25.5 grams of raisins in a 150-gram sample. Here we've got 19.5 in the super snack mix. Well, a 300-gram sample is twice as big as the 50-gram sample they showed us. So my assumption is that it's the same ratio for a bigger one, so it would be double. Okay, so the raisins here, okay, in the morning mix would be 51 grams. Okay, and in the super snack mix would be double 19.5, which would be 39 grams. Okay, so that's the end of your homework. Hopefully that worked out for you. All right, talk. to you guys in a bit.